So hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's weekend prep video, we are going to try to be as productive as possible. We're going to be prepping our meals for our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm going to show you my to-do list. There might be a grocery haul in there, and there'll be a little bit of cleaning as well. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. So today's video is going to be a little bit of what I do every weekend to help us get set up for the week ahead. I always make a list, and on it I will put whatever errands I have to run, any organizing or cleaning projects that I have to do, and I always make a list of those recipes that I want to prep for breakfast, lunch, and dinners in the week ahead. You know, it's always a challenge to get everything done on my list, but I do like to work from a list because there's nothing more satisfying than checking things off one by one. We are going to get started this morning making some crock-pot chicken. It's Saturday morning, and I like to put something on pretty early, like when I get up, so that we can have it for lunch. And today I'm going to be making some shredded chicken quesadillas. So for this, I'm going to need a package of about like 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. I have a container here of restaurant style salsa. I get this from Walmart, of course. It is so good. I like the medium. You can use whatever kind of salsa or picante sauce that you like. And then I just have a packet here of some regular taco seasoning. I'm also going to add some of my own spices to this. I always put in like garlic powder, Mrs. Stash, a little bit of red pepper flakes, and a little bit of paprika. So to the bottom of my crock pot, I added my chicken breast. I am just going to cut them in half just to allow them to cook a little quicker, especially this piece. This is such a big chicken breast here. So we're just going to cut them in half. They'll cook a little bit quicker. I'm going to end up shredding all this anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. Now to this, I am going to add a little bit of ranch seasoning. I have been adding this to almost everything I make these days. I always like to put in a little bit of paprika. I'm also going to use a little bit of minced onion. I'm adding a little bit of garlic powder and Mrs. Stash. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the whole packet of taco seasoning. Then I'm adding this whole 16-ounce container of salsa. And you just want to be sure to cover as much of the chicken as you possibly can. So I'm just going to spread it over the top here. Add the lid and cook this on high for about the first hour, and then I'm going to turn it down to low to cook it for probably maybe like 2.5 hours. So it's been about 4 hours, and we are going to test the temperature of our chicken. It smells to me like it is done. So let's see what the old thermometer says. Oh yeah, it's completely done. It keeps going up and up and up. So we are going to take the chicken out of here, and we are going to shred it up, put it back in the crock pot, and then I'm going to show you how I make my quesadillas. So to make the quesadillas, you're just going to get a little pan here on your stove, melt some butter in it, or add some olive oil, whatever you got around, and then you're going to put one of your flour tortillas down, and you are going to add a little bit of cheese. I am just using some cheddar cheese that I had in the refrigerator. And then you're going to add your meat. Add your meat and kind of just spread it out as well as you can so you don't have too many lumps in your quesadilla. You want to try to keep it as flat as you can. It just makes the whole process so much easier. There we go. So that looks good. So the next thing we're doing is we're adding more cheese to the top. There we go. And then we are going to top it with another flour tortilla. And then with your spatula, you're just going to continue to move it around a little bit so that it doesn't stick. And usually one good flip and it's all done. I got the idea for this recipe from one of my favorite local Mexican restaurants. I really love chicken quesadillas, and these are just so yummy. I like to add a little side salad and some sour cream. I mix a little bit of ranch dressing in the sour cream. That's what they do at my little Mexican restaurant, and it is such a great combo. I really love having recipes like this just in my fridge that we can pull out, you know, and have for lunch one day, pack it for lunches on Monday, or even use it for a quick dinner. Since I am up early today, I thought it would be a good time to get all of my errands done. So I am heading out the door to Target. I have to pick up some granola for our next meal prep recipe. Target is just one of my favorite Saturday morning stops. You can just kind of wander around aimlessly, get yourself a Starbucks, and, you know, just continue on your day. So I am also heading to the grocery store. I'm just going to pick up a couple things to, you know, get us through the weekend and set us up for Monday. So I just got back from Target. I have a really small Target haul for you. I had just run in there to pick up some granola. I'm going to be making a couple batches of overnight oats, and this is the only kind of granola that I'll eat. I just love this. I think this is so good. I can only find it at Target, or if I go on Nature's Path website online, and you have to, I think you have to buy it by like the case on there. So I got 2 bags of the coconut and cashew butter granola. If you haven't tried it, it is so good. I also picked up these meat shredding bear claws from the Target dollar spot. I have been wanting to get a set of these for a long time, and I just haven't come across ones that I thought were, you know, like a reasonable price for really what they are. But these were $3. And I thought that, you know, was a perfect price for something like this. I love making like shredded barbecue chicken and pork, especially in the warmer months. And I usually just use 2 regular forks, but I think these are going to do a much better job for me, especially if I do a brisket or something like this. I think these will come in really handy. I also picked up a couple bottles of some hand soap. I have run out of my favorite scents from Bath and Body Works. I only really buy the fall scents. They're my favorite. I'm not much for that really like sweet smelling soap. So I just went ahead and I picked up a couple of these. I have Spring Meadow, white tea and berry, and lavender bloom. And then I picked up a big bottle of my favorite shower wash, and this is from Olay Ultra Moisture. I've been using this for years. I trade off between using like Philosophy shower washes and things like that, but this is absolutely my favorite one, and I love that I can get it in this huge bottle, and I think it was like $9. Now, I have always been a high-end skincare product kind of girl, and as I'm getting older, you know, your skin changes so much, and I have really found that you can get the same results from less expensive products as you can those, you know, those products that cost you, you know, $100. And one of the lines that I have been using, it comes highly recommended from our dermatologist. He thinks that they are just great products, is CERAVE. So I have been slowly adding their products into my morning skincare routine and my nighttime skincare routine. When I was younger, I had cystic acne, which, you know, just causes so many problems when you're young. You know, back then they tried to really dry it up to help clear it away, and that caused a lot of problems. I mean, I had a lot of premature aging on my face. There's a lot of acne scars on there. So at my age now, I try to put as much moisture back into my skin as possible. I never go to sleep with makeup on. I have like a double cleansing routine that I do every night, and it's like my husband just laughs at me because he's like, man, for all the things you put on your face, you should look like you're like 8 years old. So two of the things that I am trying to add into my routine is this hydrating hyaluronic acid serum and this skin renewing day cream. These are replacing some higher end products that I have been using. I'm like to the bottom, you know, of the bottles, and I want to replace them. So I will let you guys know how this stuff works out. If they're anything like, you know, their other products in their line, they will be just wonderful. So if you are looking for some really good skincare and you don't really want to spend a lot of money, I mean, they're not cheap by any means. I think one of these were like $28. I mean, that's not cheap for skincare, but it's certainly, you know, compared to like a, you know, $65 cream, it's very reasonable. I highly recommend this line. I'll let you know how these guys work for me in my ever expanding skincare routine. So that's just my little haul that I got at Target today. We're going to get started on doing a little cooking. We're going to be making some soup. We're going to be making some overnight oats. So I'm going to go bring this stuff upstairs and we will meet back here in the kitchen. One of the best ways that I can prep for the week ahead is to make things for breakfast that we can easily grab as we're heading out the door on weekday mornings. And one of our favorite things to do is to make overnight oats. There are probably 1,000 different recipes for overnight oats on the internet that you can grab. This is just the way that I make them. I make them pretty much the same way. Every now and then I'll add like a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of Nutella, just, you know, depending on my mood. But the basic of my recipe is very simple. So of course you're going to need some oats. Always want to use old-fashioned oats. Quaker oats are my favorite. These are the only kind I pretty much have ever used. You're also going to need some yogurt, a little bit of vanilla. I have some cinnamon here and some cinnamon sugar. I like to add raisins or craisins. That's what I have right now. I like to have some granola. And as far as fruit goes, I like to have as much fruit in my granola as possible. So right now I do have some fresh blueberries, but I'm going to save them to make some blueberry muffins during the week. So for now I'm just going to use some frozen blueberries. I have an apple here that I'm going to peel and chop. I have a few strawberries. I have a couple bananas. And I think the only other things that I'm going to need for this recipe, of course, is some milk. I mean, you can use almond milk, you can use oat milk, whatever your family likes. And I like to add just a little sprinkling of salt. So I already made a batch I have in the refrigerator, and I'm going to make another batch here. So for these, you're going to need about a half a cup of oats. And you'll need about a half a cup of milk. I do a really tiny little sprinkle of salt in there, and then I am going to add about 1/4 cup of yogurt. I also add just a little bit of vanilla to give it a little sweetness. And then I add a little sprinkling of cinnamon. And then I add our fruit. Then to the very top of each of the cups here, I add a little sprinkling of cinnamon sugar. So we really like to add granola to our oatmeal, and we wanted to figure out a way how we can kind of take that with us as well. So we discovered that the little containers from like Mott's applesauce fit perfectly on the top of our mason jar. So what I like to do is to fill these little cups with granola and kind of screw them on top. So you have your oatmeal, you have your granola, all you need to bring with you is a spoon, and I'll show you how we do that. Fill your cups with granola, or you can even use like one of your favorite cereals. That works really well too. Add the lid, flip them over on top of your mason jar, and just secure them down with the ring. We have taken these everywhere. They are so great to pack for a road trip, breakfast on the go, or just a really good for you snack. I just picked up a few things, you know, just to get us through the weekend into Monday, because I usually do my grocery pickup like Monday or Tuesday. So I just wanted to get a few things to get us started. So what I picked up today was some ground turkey. I got a request for meatloaf sandwiches early in the week. So I picked up a 48-ounce package of ground turkey. I always use ground turkey for my meatloaf. It's just, you know, our favorite way to make it. So I'll probably make this sometime like Monday morning. You know, I'll just mix it together when I have some time and stick it in the oven. Then I also picked up a dozen of eggs. I only had like 3 left in my refrigerator. And the weekend, of course, you know, we take a little bit more time and have like a late morning breakfast together. So my favorite thing to have for breakfast on the weekends is avocado toast. So I like to make my avocado toast on Thomas's English muffins. I got myself 3 avocados here. I picked up a few tomatoes because I like to put some slices of tomatoes on top. I picked up a couple limes. I like to squeeze some fruit in my water. It just gives it a little bit of flavor. I'm also going to try this freeze-dried basil. I had never seen this before. It was a little expensive. I'm kind of surprised that I bought it. It was like almost $5 for this container. But I'm going to try it because basil is just one of those seasonings that I put in absolutely everything, and I thought I would give it a try. I've been trying the different drink mixes, most of the ones from Crystal Light. I really like the strawberry one. That's a good one. I think it's called Wild Strawberry. So I'm going to try the grape. I picked up a Snapple peach tea for my lunch today. What else do I have here? I have some grape tomatoes. This is a staple in my house. We snack on these. We add them to our salads. I also have a big bag of Fuji apples. I used to always pick up a bag of peanut M&Ms in my grocery hauls, and it used to be such a funny little joke on the channel that you guys used to send me packages of peanut M&Ms, which I thought was like the absolute most sweetest thing. So I haven't picked one up for a while, and it just, something was calling my name. So I picked up a package of M&Ms. I also hit up Starbucks. I like to go there on Saturday mornings if I'm out at the grocery store. I would love to know what your order is at Starbucks. I like Let's see, I get a grande chai tea latte, hot, with oat milk and 2 extra shots of chai. That's like my favorite way to get it. I like it to be like extra spicy because I really love the taste of chai and all the spices and everything. So that's what I got this morning. You guys will have to let me know what your order is. Let me know in the comments section down below. I would love to know. So I'm gonna put this stuff all away. I'm gonna make myself a little bit of lunch and I'll meet you back here in just a few. So every week I like to make some homemade soup to stick in the refrigerator so that we can have it during the week for lunches or a quick dinner or to, you know, like give away if somebody comes by. So today we're gonna be making some beef vegetable soup. It's pretty much the same recipe as my regular just vegetable soup, only with the addition of some beef. So what I'm going to be using for this recipe is about a pound of stew meat. I just got mine from Walmart. I'm going to go through this package and make sure that all these little pieces are cut into about 1 inch or so to make them like more bite-sized pieces. You're going to need some fresh parsley, some chopped onion, chopped celery, about 3 red skin potatoes chopped. You can keep the skin right on your potatoes. They only make the vegetable soup even better. You can add some fresh carrots, green beans, and peas. I just like to use a bag of frozen. It just makes the whole recipe come together so much easier. You're gonna need a can of crushed tomatoes, some beef broth, garlic. I like to always add a little bit of pasta into my soup, so today we're going to be adding some Stellina pasta. You'll need a bunch of seasonings, of course, salt and pepper, garlic powder, all like, you know, the headline winners there. And you'll also need a couple shakes of some Worcestershire sauce. So I have some butter and olive oil at the bottom of my big stock pot, and I've added my beef. And I'm going to season this really well with some salt and pepper and garlic powder. I have some Mrs. Dash here. And we're gonna let this brown up on all sides. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more pepper to this. All right, so we are going to let this brown away and we're going to chop up our vegetables. So my meat seems to be nice and browned. I am going to take it off the heat and remove it to a plate because we are going to be browning our vegetables. Once our veggies are all browned, we'll add the meat back in. Added a couple tablespoons of butter to my pan here, and I'm going to start to add in my veggies. Added in my potatoes to get browned up a little bit because potatoes have a tendency to stay a little firm, and I want to give them a chance to soften up early on in the whole process. So we are going to let these saute a bit, and you're going to want to let them go until the onion and the celery are transparent and the potatoes are just starting to soften. So we're going to add our meat and the juices back into our stock pot here. Mix everything around really well, and then you can start adding some of your liquid. So I'm going to add a can of beef broth. I'm also going to fill this up about 3/4 of a way with water and add that as well. And we're going to add our 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And we're going to want this to return. Then we're going to return everything to a boil. I'm going to add some spices in here. I have some marjoram, Italian seasonings, to put in a couple bay leaves. There we go. And because we have a tomato base in here, I'm just going to add the tiniest amount of sugar, add our regular seasonings, Mrs. Dash, garlic powder, and salt and pepper. So go ahead and let this come to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for about 20 minutes or so. The soup has been boiling here for about 20 minutes, and as you can see that the broth has really gotten a little bit thick. So that is because of the potatoes that are in there. The natural starch of them will thicken up your soup. If you like it thick, like I do, this is the way that I like all my soups. I really like a hearty, almost stew soup. If you want it a little bit thinner, just go ahead and add a little bit more water. So at this point, I'm going to add my bag of mixed vegetables. There's carrots, green beans, corn, and peas. So we're going to put that in. This will bring the temperature down because those veggies, even though I've had them on my countertop, they're still a little bit frozen. And I'm also going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to bring this back up to a boil. We're going to re-season a little bit, and then we will add our pasta. So our frozen veggies have been boiling away. I'm gonna add just a little bit more of some beef broth here because we're getting ready to add our pasta. So I probably added about 5 ounces there. We'll bring it back to a boil, and then I am going to add about 6 ounces of Stellina pasta. Pastina is really good in this soup as well, or even orzo. So this came right back to a boil for me. So I am going to add my Stellina, and then our veggie soup, our veggie beef soup, is all done. So that's going to do it for me today. This video was getting a little long, so we didn't quite get to the cleaning part. I'm going to be saving that for an upcoming possible clean with me video. Check out the description box down below for the recipes that I shared in today's video, and don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what your Starbucks order is. Now, although I don't drink coffee, I do like to try other combinations of drinks. I'm always looking for something new. Join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have. Be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.